say, Will, that there is some sort of a spiritual connection to all this knowledge, to all these plants, to the environment as a whole, as you're saying. Would you actually get to the point to say that this connection goes deeper than just knowing it by name and what they do, what they are good for? Is it some type of a spiritual connection involved to it?
Absolutely, completely. And I've had examples demonstrated to me by spirit. It's not a religion. It's not man-made. It's your relationship, which is something that you depend on with nature. I see that as a blessing, and I see that like there's a lot of activity from a higher plane, which has been feeding the journey. And the reason it's been feeding the journey is because what I'm doing is important, and people get huge benefits from it. Not just what I'm teaching, but access to an environment. So I've actually created an opportunity to give people access to something really special. And when people come here, what you actually see happen is the stress drop. And they like sit there and it's like, do we have to do anything? They've come there for a workshop. It's like, well, we do, but you know what? Right now, you just take 5. Do some breathing and just sort of like, that feels good. Because what you need in life is sometimes you need to just get off and you need to sit in nature, go to sleep in nature, let things land on you, let things crawl over you.
One thing that I remember so clearly is how deeply impressed we were when you took us down to visit that main mine in Grimes Graves, and just being in there, seeing the walls and seeing the environment where somewhat 45,000 years ago people were,
well,
deep inside exploring it.
On that particular day, we learned something together, because you made a point of telling me when we were in that chamber together that I was the guardian of that place. And that pit does know me. And what the pit has asked me, the pit has taught me how to use it. And so what I do is I get everybody in there and I don't let them turn any lights on. I don't let them talk. I ask them to sit down, and there's an interesting crossover, because they're trying to look into these black tunnels, but they obviously can't see in a black tunnel. And it appears before you know it that the black tunnels are looking at them.
Yes.
It's a bit like a time machine. And I think
I was going to say that. You just got the words out of my mouth here, because that's exactly what I was going to say. And especially when you had your torch off and you told us to touch this huge you say node of flint, this that had the shape of a female body, which is like the Venus, right?
Yeah.
And when you actually lit on your torch and I saw it, man, it was like, man, that was awesome. That was just awesome.
I fully understand it. The most emotional thing that ever happened to me was going right across to Austria to meet Venus Willendorf, and I wasn't expecting the emotional journey, because I've been in stone circles, and we all touch the stones, and we sort of think about these people that carried the stones, giant coffins and tombs from the Neolithic period, all that kind of stuff. And when I went to see Venus Willendorf, I finally got there, and I went into this big vault, and well, I can quickly show you her. Yeah, I've got her there.
Wow, man! Oh man, it's a replica, right?
Yeah. Well, I had made that one when I got home.
Oh, you made it yourself, man! Oh man!
Yeah. Well, I was in the cave in the Czech Republic, and that's all I could make with flint tools, with the rock that I found.
Wow!
I sat in a cave for 2 days chiseling that. But I knew that I had to. I knew that I had to be able to do it properly. And so I came home and I got a piece of what they know as she's limestone, and I began to carve her. And it's difficult you can carve something, but you can't get the depth. You can't quite keep going. But what I did when I was out there, I bought a copy in resin. And I sat there, and the more I carved and the deeper I got, I realised that this lady had actually once existed, because that person who carved this could not have carved this without intimately.
Living model.
He was intimate with her. And what they did with the real one, they were living along this valley with the river Danube, and there was their fireplace, you know, and she was buried 9 inches underneath the fire hearth. A bit like what you say, you know, it was abundance, and it was guardianship, and it was everything about her was voluptuous and grand. And yeah, I fell in love with that.
No wonder, no wonder, man. What an experience! What an experience! Yeah.